There are many super strong superheroes in the MCU. Many heroes have been introduced to the Earth since the MCU's inception with 2008's Iron Man, some of whom possess the power to vanquish any enemy or wipe out the multiverse. Many of the superheroes in the MCU are just humans, despite the fact that some of the most formidable antagonists in the MCU, like Thanos and Kang the Conqueror, are godlike figures with extraordinary abilities. While Marvel Studios is always adding new characters to the mix, the MCU already has a sizable number of potent additions that would send shivers down the spines of the greatest adversaries in the cosmos. Here are some of the strongest superheroes in MCU. Number 13. Spider-Man. Peter Parker's tremendous talents, which were bestowed upon him by a bite from a genetically modified spider, are in no way diminished by the fact that he is the youngest member of the Avengers. The MCU Spider-Man is one of the physically strongest Earth's heroes, with improved strength, stamina, speed, and the ability to stick to walls, making him easily able to withstand a building collapse, a fight with Bucky Barnes, and even hold his own against the Mad Titan, Thanos. Nonetheless, Spider importance Mans as a member of the Avengers may not be due to his physical features. Peter Parker is only a teenager, yet he already possesses a genius-level intelligence that has allowed him to develop his own synthetic web, as well as a tremendous amount of emotional fortitude. After dealing with Aunt May's passing, Parker begs Doctor Strange to erase Peter Parker from existence, leaving him all alone but hesitant to tell his old friends the truth because they might be safer without him in their lives. Spider-Man No Way Home was a tragic entry in the Spider-Man Homecoming franchise of the MCU. Even though Spider-Man isn't the most powerful superhero in the MCU, he has made more sacrifices than most. Number 12. Shang-Chi. As perhaps one of the most well-liked ventures of the multiverse saga thus far, Shang-Chi made his MCU debut as part of Phase 4 of the film franchise. As the child of the real Mandarin of the MCU, Xu Wenwu, Shang-Chi received rigorous martial arts training from an early age, making him one of the most lethal people on Earth. As a result, in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, he had no trouble defeating Razor Fist and his thugs on a San Francisco bus. Shang-Chi now has the mythical Ten Rings, which give him even more strength, in addition to his extraordinary martial arts abilities. The 10 rings are 10 bracelets designed to resemble Hung Gar iron rings. They provide their wearer immortality, increased strength, and supernatural abilities that come from the unknown composition of the rings. Over hundreds of years, Wenwu utilized the 10 rings to create his empire, establish the 10 Rings organization, and position himself as one of the world's most deadly men. Shang-Chi, however, will make use of these extraordinary tools for good. As Shang combat Chi's prowess rivals that of Captain America or Black Widow, and the 10 rings have the potential to be more potent than Thor's hammer or Captain America's shield, he would be a major addition to the MCU's new Avengers squad. Number 11. Doctor Strange. Despite his initial skepticism, Stephen Strange eventually worked his way up to become Master of the New York Sanctum, Keeper of the Time Stone, and Sorcerer Supreme of the MCU when Wong took over following Thanos' snap in Avengers Infinity War. Because of his eidetic memory, Doctor Strange was able to master the mystic arts very rapidly, which helped him save the world in Doctor Strange by putting Dormammu in a time loop. This demonstrated how crucial Strange's genius-level intellect was in addition to his magic prowess. Doctor Strange has established himself as one of the MCU's most fearsome superheroes thanks to films like Doctor Strange, Avengers Infinity War, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Then again, what if demonstrated Strange's ability to be a villain as well, as he used the Time Stone's might for his own advantage? Yet, there's no denying that a sorcerer who can hold his own against characters like Dormammu, Thanos, and even darker versions of Doctor Strange himself deserves to be counted among the MCU's most powerful superheroes. Number 10. Iron Man. Tony Stark may not have been among the physically strongest heroes in the MCU, but he possessed traits that made him one of the Avengers' most potent members. Stark carried the whole MCU on his shoulders when Iron Man launched the series in 2008, and it was Iron Man's sacrifice in Avengers Endgame that brought Thanos' rule to a happy conclusion. Stark was a difficult opponent for any criminal thanks to his cunning intellect, sharp wit, and high intelligence, but it was his enormous scientific achievements that made him famous. Using just the leftover components from a few of his own weapons, Stark was able to miniaturize his arc reactor technology during Iron Man. As a result, the original Iron Man armor prototype was created, which he later improved after using it to get free of prison. As Iron Man, Stark utilized his power, notoriety, and wealth to put an end to dangers all across the planet, ultimately rescuing the Earth more than once from supernatural dangers. Stark was consistently one of the most inventive and gifted superheroes in the MCU, whether it was firing a nuclear missile through a portal into space, destroying a collapsing metropolis, or utilizing the Infinity Stones to rescue the universe. Number 9. Captain America. Sam Wilson is now playing Captain America in the MCU, carrying on Steve Rogers' legacy through Captain America: New World Order and beyond. Wilson will likely be a more grounded and human superhero because he hasn't received the Super Soldier Serum, which was formerly a trademark of Captain America. Rogers' serum gave him exceptional strength, speed, stamina, and endurance. Rogers saved hundreds of troops who were believed to be dead during World War II and finally battled the Red Skull, the leader of Hydra. Rogers was created to represent the apex of the American military. Steve Rogers, who had a vibranium shield and the super soldier serum coursing through his veins, was unquestionably in charge of the Avengers during the first few outings of the MCU. Steve Rogers would finally be proved to be worthy of wielding Mjolnir, Thor's enchanted hammer, in Avengers Endgame. He not only had the strength to prevent a helicopter from taking off, also held Thanos at bay for a brief period of time. Prior to retiring in Endgame and living in the past with Peggy Carter before handing the shield to Wilson, Rogers was at the center of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for more than a decade. Number 8. Black Panther. Beginning with Bashenga, the first king of Wakanda, the Black Panther mantle has been handed down through the Wakandan centuries, until landing on T'Challa and Shuri in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. In Captain America: Civil War, the late Chadwick Boseman made his acting debut as T'Challa the Black Panther, an African hero endowed with the strength of the heart-shaped herb, a vibranium-infused plant that gave him abilities similar to those conferred by the Super Soldier Serum on Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes. But the Wakandan warrior's vibranium armor is what distinguishes the Black Panther from other superfighters. In Wakanda, vibranium is a plentiful resource since the metal has let the African nation remain undiscovered by the outside world while making significant technological achievements. Vibranium is the best material for defense for the Black Panther since it can absorb and redistribute kinetic energy as well as deflect gunshots. The vibranium used in the Black Panther's claws makes them a weapon that can damage Captain America's shield. After her fight with Namor, Shuri's Black Panther suit was able to seal her stab wound, sparing her life and giving her a very bright future in the MCU. Number 7. She-Hulk. Jennifer Walters made her film debut in She-Hulk: Attorney at Law, which rushed through the origin narrative of the recognizable Hulk during the fourth phase of the MCU. Walters was exposed to Banner's blood in a car accident, turning her into a Hulk. Nevertheless, she quickly showed considerably greater control over her Hulk persona than her Avenger cousin, enabling her to work and live as She-Hulk without displaying her fury. As a result, she became known as She-Hulk. As She-Hulk, Walters possesses the same superhuman strength, invulnerability, unbreakable skin, and heightened healing factor as her problematic cousin. She-Hulk is a far more relatable version of the Hulk than Banner's was because of Walters' troubles with dating as She-Hulk and juggling her role as a superhero with her everyday life. Jennifer Walters is one of the physically toughest superheroes currently in the MCU, while possessing flaws like any other human being. In addition to making for entertaining television, her ability to break the fourth wall reveals a degree of self-awareness and connection that will make her a terrific addition to the MCU's new Avengers squad. Number 6. Vision. Vision was created in Avengers: Age of Ultron by Ultron and a mind-controlled Helen Cho to be the ideal vehicle for the malicious artificial intellect, which was given life by the Mind Stone implanted in the body's forehead. When Jarvis was finally implanted into the Vision's body, Thor turned him on, waking one of the MCU's most potent characters. Before the Avengers split up in Captain America: Civil War, Vision, made of vibranium and endowed with the power of the Mind Stone, became an indispensable part of the team. He possessed powers that other Earthling heroes could only imagine. Vision's abilities in the MCU were flying, body density change, and use of the Mind Stone as a potent laser, in addition to having genius-level intelligence, a staunch moral compass, and great hand-to-hand combat capabilities. He was also nearly invincible until Thanos appeared. The other Avengers were amazed as well as terrified by Vision's fast demonstration of his suitability to wield Mjolnir. A speculated Vision Quest series would continue the narrative of Vision, one of the most powerful MCU superheroes, even if he was slain during Thanos' search for the Infinity Stones. WandaVision confirmed that White Vision, who replaced Vision, has been recreated. Number 5. Captain Marvel. Many criticized Carol Danvers' Phase 3 entry into the MCU because they couldn't understand why a character who was supposed to have arrived on Earth in the 1990s had been absent for the previous 2 decades, especially given that her extraordinary power set would have been useful in saving the lives of half the universe during Avengers: Infinity War. Danvers developed capabilities after coming into contact with the Tesseract, also known as the Space Stone, although she didn't fully develop them until years later. When Captain Marvel discovered her real power, she instantly repudiated her former Kree leaders and made the decision to aid the Skrulls in their quest for independence. While Captain Marvel provided viewers a taste of Danvers' might, Avengers: Endgame demonstrated why she hadn't appeared as a character in earlier movies. She would have easily beaten the adversary. Although being very briefly seen in Avengers: Endgame, Captain Marvel was able to easily destroy Thanos' spacecraft and engage in a face-to-face confrontation with the Mad Titan. She was only defeated by Thanos' quick deployment of the Power Stone. Captain Marvel is an MCU superhero on par with the gods, making her well-deserving of a spot among the franchise's most powerful characters. Number 4. Thor. The Asgardian god of thunder has long been regarded as one of the MCU's most powerful characters, ever since making his screen debut in 2011's Thor. He has skills that are superior to those of any super soldier, let alone everyday people, just because of his Asgardian physiology. Thor Ragnarok left him without his beloved hammer, Mjolnir, but with a greater understanding of his own ability to harness lightning and a stronger appreciation for his family, friends, and responsibility as the new king of Asgard. Despite this, Thor's power has only grown stronger over the course of his lengthy MCU career. This culminated in Infinity War, as Thor came dangerously close to defeating Thanos. Thor's true strength has always been in his morals and the transformative relationships he built with the heroes of Earth, including people like Jane Foster, Eric Selvig, and the Avengers. He was able to withstand the full force of Nidavellir, harness the power of the Bifrost with Stormbreaker, and reclaim his worthiness with Mjolnir. Thor even adopted the role of father to Gorr's revived daughter, Love, in Thor: Love and Thunder, which undoubtedly gave him a fresh set of abilities for his upcoming MCU appearances. Although it's long been a running joke, Earth's mightiest heroes can count on Thor to be a formidable ally even if he's not the strongest Avenger. Number 3. Charles Xavier. Professor Charles Xavier in the MCU's 616 iteration hasn't yet made an appearance, although Patrick Stewart returned to the character of Professor X, the head of the mutant squad the X-Men, in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. As an Omega-level mutant, Professor X's strength is at an indescribable level for his particular skill set. In the case of Professor X, he is one of the most potent telepaths in the world, enabling him to read and manipulate everyone around. His scientific brilliance also inspired him to develop Cerebro, a device that can link him to anyone anywhere in the globe. In the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange gave viewers a glimpse of Professor X's power when he was able to communicate with the Scarlet Witch's imprisoned Earth-838 variant while inside the Scarlet Witch's mind. However, this ultimately resulted in his death at the hands of the Witch's corruption. Professor X, the creator of the X-Men and Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, has taught hundreds of young mutants how to harness and use their talents while instilling in them a message of harmony between mankind and mutant kind. Charles Xavier stands out among the MCU heroes for being a very forceful and authoritative leader. Number 2. Hulk. Jennifer Walters, Bruce Banner's cousin, is one of the MCU's most powerful superheroes, but the source of her strength is widely thought to be the strongest Avenger and a potential ticking time bomb for the MCU. Bruce Banner developed the power to change into the anger monster known as the Hulk after being subjected to a typically fatal dosage of gamma radiation. Because of the Hulk's unrivaled power and unpredictable temperament in his early MCU appearances, the character frequently caused mayhem and required the combined effort of numerous Avengers to defeat him. The Hulk destroyed Harlem in The Incredible Hulk, easily dispatched a large portion of Loki's Chitauri army in The Avengers, and tragically tore through Johannesburg's neighborhoods in Avengers: Age of Ultron. But, over time, the Hulk's fury has received less and less attention in favor of Banner's brilliance. Banner has 7 PhDs that he frequently uses in the lab alongside Tony Stark, in addition to being an invincible and unbreakable anger monster. Nonetheless, a lot of people are hopeful that the enraged Hulk makes a comeback in a future MCU World War Hulk project. Number 1. Wanda Maximoff. The huge shared world of Marvel Studios has a number of amazing and potent characters, but the Scarlet Witch is by far the most potent and terrible superhero turned villain of them all. In the MCU, Wanda Maximoff has experienced one of the most turbulent journeys, going from Hydra volunteer to Avenger to fugitive to wife and mother to villain in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The Scarlet Witch, however, is most terrifying since no one, not even she, fully realizes how strong she really is, making her unpredictable. Wanda is a powerful foe to any villain or hero, for that matter, because of her capacity to manipulate probability and perform spells without the use of an incantation. Since obtaining the Darkhold in WandaVision, she has been able to dreamwalk to another world to murder the Illuminati team on Earth 838 in quest of America Chavez. She is the 616 universe's Nexus being, which means she has the power to affect the future and the time stream. It is anticipated that the Scarlet Witch may return to the MCU despite having seemingly died in Mount Wundagor's fall, possibly with a better knowledge of her unparalleled power. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.